Hello Year 8 and welcome to your third lesson using paper templates in 3D design. In today's lesson we're going to be using the paper templates we made last lesson to make some cardboard shapes for our Art Nouveau tile. In today's lesson you will need a pencil, a pair of scissors, a glue stick, some pieces of cardboard. As you can see I've got some thin pieces from an old cereal box and an old tissue box, and I've got some tape as well that you might need. So in today's lesson, we're going to be taking those templates we made the previous lesson. So here is my first one that I made of my leaf, and we're going to be drawing around it and then cutting it out in the cardboard. Now, at this point, I just want to stress that in order to be able to complete this lesson, you must have done the first and second lessons already. If you haven't, then you use this time to go back to those first and second lessons to complete the tasks, and then you can complete this third task afterwards. As this task won't take you that long, it should not take you an hour. So you've got the time this lesson to go back to the previous lessons, complete the first drawing, actually make your paper templates, and then you can actually complete this lesson. For those of you who are on this step, well done. I look forward to seeing your work after you've finished. So, the first step you will need to do, once you've got your paper template, is to secure it down a tiny touch. Now you can hold it down if you want to, make sure it's steady on the cardboard, and draw around it. And as you draw around, make sure you support the piece of paper near where you're drawing so your pencil doesn't slip across on the top or slip underneath. So you need to make sure that you hold your pencil nice and still and hold the template right down to the piece of paper. Now we are slightly leaning against that, but as you can see here, if I didn't support the paper, our pencil would slip underneath. So you need to make sure that you are supporting the paper and making sure that the pencil doesn't slip on that template. Now to make this easier, what you might need is a piece of tape to secure it down. As you can see, I've already gone around my template and drawn it all out. Let me just quickly finish that one before I take it off. So making sure we support the edge of the paper. You will slip, I've slipped loads of times doing mine. But it's just a process where you need to keep going and correct your mistakes as you go. Remember, we can always use a rubber to rub out these bits here. So I've already done all mine. But what I did was use the tape on the back and made a little sort of tab to keep it stuck down. I ripped off a tiny bit, and on the sticky side I rolled it on itself. So on the smooth side, if you make a little roll like that, each side is going to be sticky. And what I did, let me take my old one off, what I did is place that in the middle, and because it's really sticky you can place that down on your cardboard and then it shouldn't move at all then. See? It won't shake off because that tape is holding it down. If you haven't got any tape at all, then I suppose you're going to have to keep your hand on the piece of paper. Always keep one hand on it at a time and move your fingers around whilst you're supporting your edges. So, once you've done that, we need to cut out that shape. So what I suggest you do is, if you've got a big piece of cardboard like I have, I suggest first of all, you trim it down as much as you can. So trim off these edges that you won't need at all. Make the thing you're cutting out as small as possible. So even these corners here, cut out, make that nice and small. That just makes it a lot easier to handle and easier to cut through. Right, then you need to start on one of the edges and slowly cut along the line. Not near it, not next to it, on the line. And what I did on my one, I cut around all this one. It depends on what shape you've got, I suppose. But I cut around all of mine first of all. Then I went back to all those little intricate pieces in the middle. So you take your time, use the inside of your scissors, so you've got more control. And you get that sharp cut. That's going to get you a higher grade. So the neater your edge, the neater your cut is going to be, the better grade you'll achieve in 3D design. And that will continue up through to year 9, year 10 and year 11 if you choose it at GCSE level. a nice neat cut. So then obviously get rid of that piece as well. And then you should cut into your intricate pieces if you have them. It depends on what leaf you've drawn. I'm slightly regretting my choice now because I've got lots of intricate pieces to cut out. If you get to a bit where you can't twist it and go round, cut it from the other side and see if that helps. There's no point in trying to mangle your piece of cardboard and make it all horrible. I suppose for some pieces in the middle like that, it might be a bit scraggy, but for the large part of it, I want nice neat cutting. Now I've gone all the way around mine, and I've cut one out already in a piece of cardboard. Now this tissue box that I had has got a fancy design on the back, but I think in my case, I think it's a bit too much overkill. I don't know, it looks alright on the camera, but if you've got a fancy design that you like, maybe you could keep it. Actually, I might decide to keep this one. I'm not sure yet. We'll see when I come to stick it down. But yeah. So once you've got your piece out, put that to one side. And now you are going to cut out your whiplash lines. So this one was a bit tricky for me. And I suppose if you have drawn all these out, you'll see that they're a bit floppy, they don't stick, they don't stay very well in the square. So what you need to do on this one is maybe get 3 pieces of tape, one in the middle, one at the top, one of those corners, and hold it down in at least 3 positions. That way it might be a lot easier to secure down. So let me just show you that again. I want a tiny piece of tape this time, a really small piece, and I'm going to roll that on itself. So I've got the sticky bit all the way around, and then I'm going to choose a nice thick bit for it to stick onto the back, and then I need to make sure that that looks straightish, because remember, this is going to be stuck onto our cardboard bases. That looks straight enough to me. Push that one down. I suppose now is to make sure that this one is stuck down symmetrically. This is where you could get some wonky whiplash lines. I'm going to make myself another sticky tab. So if I stuck it down like this, it wouldn't be very good. Like that, it wouldn't be very good. I want to try and get it as symmetrical as possible. I'll stick that in the back and place that. If I sort the bottom out, the top should sort itself out maybe. Okay, right, and then the same process again. You need to draw around all the way around this one. This one would take me a bit longer. Draw around both sides, making sure you support the paper as you go around. Because it's so thin, you'll have to support it a lot. What you could do as well, what I've just done there, is keep that paper really taut. I've got tension at the top and tension at the bottom. I'm sort of pushing down on both sides to make it a bit easier to do. Okay, go as close to it as possible. Once you've done that, you should have the design ready to cut out, like I've done here earlier. And now all you need to do is to decide, like I said before, whether you want the pattern that's left on the back or not. Where's my one gone? Let me just have a look. So at this point, I'm going to just offer them up to each other, decide if I want the whiplash lines in the back or the front. I think it works well on the back actually, but I think there isn't enough contrast on there really, so I think it's either one or the other for me. There's a lovely pattern. Let me try that the other way around. And because they're symmetrical, I do have the choice of having them either one way or the other. Do it like that. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with the other way, you know. Because next lesson we're going to be adding some collage to these anyway. So I can collage my leaf if I want to. Yeah. I might regret it, but I'm going to stick it down like that. So choose which way you're going to stick them down. Get your glue stick. Make sure you glue the right side. Be careful not to rip these because these can be really delicate. to support it as you go around. You don't need loads and loads of glue. Your hands might get a bit sticky, but you can always wash them off. Make sure if you're working on your mum's nice dinner table, that you're not gluing anything on your mum's dinner table. Wouldn't be very nice. Make sure you put some newspaper down or something. And then you want to stick this as perfect as you can in the middle. So I want to go with that in the middle first. Look at my bottom pieces, make sure that's nice and central. And then it's these bits at the top. That will do. Stick that down. And then for my leaf print, should I stick it down that way? No. As nice as it is, I'm going to stick it down that way. I think that way you lose a bit of the depth within the leaf. If that makes sense. You've got the nice contrast between the dark cardboard and the light cardboard in this way. I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to glue the back of mine and stick that down. Whilst I'm sticking this down, I'm going to quickly mention as well that if you find these whiplash lines a bit too hard, then if you can't cut them out, then don't worry, you don't have to do them. What you could do instead is just draw them on with a pencil afterwards. Or you could make simpler shapes, you could make simple lines, maybe you could look at little dots, or maybe you could look at some Art Nouveau tiles on Google Images and to find some inspiration of what else you could design. So make sure that piece is in the middle as well. I want to make sure that I'm not covering those. I'm going to stick that down. And that is all I expect for next lesson. So, just to recap, you need to have spent this time making your drawing if you haven't done so already. Then in the second lesson, you make your drawing symmetrical. And then in the third lesson, we're going to use the templates that we made. And then we're going to cut them out in cardboard and stick them down on our tile base. Okay, thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing your work uploaded onto Class Charts. Thank you.